Hello and welcome back to Old Truthford, the home of honestly biased sports content. And today we are reacting to Manchester United's 3-0 win versus Everton away from home at Goodison Park. Now, a lot to talk about in this match. So, although we didn't really have the most convincing of first halves, so we were in a very good position to begin with, obviously, due to Garnacho's amazing bicycle kick. However, if I was to say Everton didn't then go on to dominate large portions of that half, I would be lying. So there's still a bit to work on there. One player in particular, which we've still got question marks over, and it's Scott McTominay. He had a steady game. He had an average game, but in comparison to everyone else, he didn't really hit the mark. Now, when it came to everybody else, we're looking at a few big performances. So, first of all, in goal, Onana, amazing. We're looking at Martial. If you look at the second half, first half he did absolutely nothing. But second half, winning a penalty as well as scoring, you could argue Martial, big player in the second half. Kobe Mainoo, his debut, to look that certain and that assured in the midfield. Amazing scenes. And yeah, Maguire continuing his good form. Lindelof also having a good performance at centre-back. And Fernandes picking up an assist, giving the penalty to Rashford to boost his confidence. Now that is the action of a captain. So yeah, it's a good day to be a United fan. So first off, I'm going to go through my player ratings. Okay, so Onana, I think his distribution wasn't the best, but when you actually look at the amount of saves he made and how well he actually distributed the ball when it came in from crosses. So, for example, coming in from a cross, deciding to punch it or catch it, Onana was decent. He was double decent. So, yeah, I'm going to give Onana, as well as keeping a clean sheet, I'm going to give Onana an 8. I think Onana had a very good game today. As for Maguire, I think he had another decent game. I can't think of any particular high moments, but he was solid throughout the game, heading clear. I'm going to give Maguire 7.5. Lindelof as well. I think he had a very decent game. I can't say there's anything that separates the two. I would also give Lindelof a 7.5. Dalot picked up the assist for Garnacho's goal, but I'm not going to give him too much credit because he did not plan to cross the ball like that. But an assist's an assist. So I'm going to give Dalot a 7.6. As for Luke Shaw, good for him to come back into the side. A good game to get back into fitness for the Premier League. So I think I'm going to give Shaw a 7.2. I think he was very solid. As for Mainoo, now this is the debatable one. Mainoo was a lot of people's man of the match. I don't know if he did enough to be man of the match, but he had a very good performance. So he had the off-the-line clearance. Now that is saving us a goal in a pivotal point in the game, so that will be accounted for. As for the rest of his game, he was solid. He didn't make many mistakes. He was spreading the ball out. He was keeping it tight at the back, defensively minded. I'm going to give Mainoo... such a hard one to judge. I'm going to give Mainoo a 7.6. Actually, I think he was slightly better than Dalot. I'm going to give him a 7.7. I think Mainoo deserves a 7.7. just the off the line goal clearance. I mean, that's big in a match like this. So yeah, Mainu, I still don't know if he had a better performance from the likes of Onana, because Onana saved a hell of a lot. But he was one of the best performers on the pitch. That was clear. So McTominay, I'm going to give McTominay a 6.8. I think he's the only player I'm going to mark below a 7. Kind of just anonymous, but he did play the entire game. He did play his part, but it was just average, really. Now for Fernandes. Fernandes picked up an assist. He created the chance for Martial in order to score, but also the chance that won us the penalty. So he put Martial in that position. I'm going to give Fernandes a 7.7 along the side, as long as I've given Mainu a 7.7. I think those two were on the same wavelength today. Now Garnacho, besides the bicycle kick goal, fairly anonymous. Involved, but fairly anonymous. However, because of the quality of the goal, because of the timing of the goal, to put us in such a good position early on into the match, I've got to give him, like, that is the goal of the season. He has literally scored a goal of the season. That's got to be accounted for when it comes to player ratings. I'm giving Garnacho a 7.8. I think he just edged Mainu because of the quality of that goal. He could have tried that 100 times and only scored it once. So we've got to give credit where credit's due. 7.8. Now, Rashford scored the penalty, but was fairly poor throughout the game, in my opinion. Could have set up Bruno Fernandes towards the end of the match. I am going to give Rashford a 7.3. 7.3. I think he was gifted the penalty, and besides the penalty, pretty poor game, but it was a pivotal penalty in a pivotal point of the game. So you've got to give credit where credit's due. He smashed it home. Fair play to Rashford. Now, Martial won us a penalty and scored a goal. First half, terrible. Second half, won us a penalty and scored a goal. Martial, I'm going to have to give him a... I'm going to have to give him a 7.6. I'm going to have to give him a 7.6. I think... But I do think Garnacho had a better game than Onana, though. So I may need to adjust this. Garnacho, I'm going to have to give him an 8.1. And Martial... Mainu and Fernandes, they're both 7.8, and I think Martial was just below that, but he was above Delo. So I think Martial will pick up a 7.7. Okay, those are my player ratings. I think Garnacho did edge man of the match for me. I think Mainu was up there with the likes of Fernandes, and I still think Onana had a very good game that not a lot of people are talking about. I think Onana had a very good game. So yeah, I think Garnacho man of the match for me. Now, let's move over to the Discord player ratings. So this will be on average what everyone has voted for each player. So let's work these out. Now, Onana, on average, was voted... He had a very good game, made a lot of good saves, so I'd be surprised if he was voted too low. On average, Onana was voted a 7.9. Beautiful scenes. Okay. So pretty much on the same page with Onana. I voted 8, you guys voted 7.9. Good to see. Maguire... Let's see if see what people thought of Maguire's performance. Maguire, again, I don't think he had too many highlights, but he didn't have any lowlights either, so he should be above average. And everyone has voted for Maguire 7.0. Okay, 7 out of 10. And for Lindelof, we have gone for... Oh, well, Lindelof has not picked up a good score whatsoever. Okay, Lindelof has picked himself up a 6.4. Okay, so everybody weren't a fan of Lindelof's performance in that match. Now for Delo. What has Delo picked up? Delo has picked himself up on average from the Discord. Delo has picked himself up a respectable score of 6.5. Okay. I feel like I've been very generous with my ratings in comparison to the Discord so far. I think a lot of people had a good game though. As for Luke Shaw, he has picked himself up a score of 7.2, which matches up with my score exactly, so that's good to see. But so far, the differences between the backlines are I've given Delo an extra 1, Maguire an extra 0.5, and Lindelof an extra 1.1. So, yeah, people weren't really rating Delo or Lindelof in that match. What I am interested to see, though, is Kobe's rating. I want to see what people rated the one, the only Kobe Mainu. And Kobe has earned himself an 8.4 rating. Wow. Okay. People are very impressed with Kobe. I still think that's very generous, but who am I to stop people voting for a youngster on his debut to have that solid of a performance? So looks like it's time to get delusional. And Bruno Fernandes has picked himself up a 7.1 rating out of 10. McTominay. Now, McTominay, surely he's not going to get too high of a score. Shouldn't be too low because he didn't do anything wrong, but it shouldn't be high either because, let's face it, he hasn't really done anything. Okay, McTominay has picked himself up a score of 6.2, which is below average. 6.5 is average in my book. So both Lindelof and McTominay, as voted by the fine people of the Discord, are both below average. Let's move over to Garnacho. Now, let's see the battle between Garnacho and Mainu. Who will get man of the match as per the Discord? Okay. And Garnacho has picked himself up an 8.7 rating, making him, unless Martial or Rashford get a higher score, man of the match. Which I think is more than fair. I think Garnacho set the tone for the match. We've been struggling to score, and the fact that we were able to score a goal like that so early on, it was a godsend, really. Okay, now we're looking at Martial. And Martial has picked himself up a 7.4 rating, which again, very happy with. Good to have him as a second choice striker if he's providing us with goals like that. Palash, Mainu had a great game, my friend. Kieran, I see you. Onana looks like he has settled. Yep, literally that penalty save has completely turned his season around, which I'm very happy about. Now, Marcus Rashford's score. This one will be interesting because a lot of people are losing patience with Marcus Rashford. So let's see what he picked himself up. And Marcus Rashford's score, lowest of the bunch, as it has been on a few occasions, despite scoring a penalty, 6.1. So those are the Old Truthford Discord ratings. And here are my personal admin player ratings. But yeah, overall, happy that we've grabbed the points. We are now 2 points off plucky Tottenham and 4 points off top four, I believe. So we move, and this is where our season begins. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Godspeed.